Hi Soulmates, welcome back to Sew with Adeshola. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful gown that you are seeing on your screen. If this is something you're interested in, keep on watching. So in the last tutorial, we learned how to draft the pattern for the upper bodice of this dress. If you are yet to see it, kindly click on the link in the description box to watch. And as you do so, the Lord will bless you. Amen. So using the pattern paper that we drafted out last week, I cut out my fabric and as well the lining that I'll be using to turn the upper bodice. Now after doing that, the next thing we are going to be doing is to iron an interface to our fabric, just like I did right here. And while ironing an interface to your fabric, just make sure that your interface, which is your wording, gets to on the bust line of your center and the side. You understand? So after doing that, the next thing I did was to pin the side to the center so that the pin will hold it well when I am sewing, so that I don't have one side longer than the other, or I don't have any kind of bulginess. I hope you understand. So just try and pin it down so that it will even be easy while sewing. I hope you understand that part. So after I was done doing that, the next thing I will do is to take it to my sewing machine and sew off camera. Then I will bring it back to us. After which I will also do the same for the lining. So go ahead and do your own. Sew the lining and also the fabric, both the front and the back piece. I hope you understand. And after I was done, this is what I have. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to notch that bustier area, like so, that seam allowance like that. Go ahead and notch it. This is just so that when we give it a good press, it will lay flat very well, like it will be really smooth. Now after you're done notching it, the next thing you're going to do is open it up like I am doing right here, and then go ahead and give it a good press. I hope you understand. Just press that side down, iron it well. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to use my lining to turn the neckline and also the sides. Now to turn the neckline, place your lining on your fabric, make sure that it aligns very well, then use a pin to hold that place down, and go ahead to sew on the neckline and also the side. But note that that shoulder line, you should leave it. Do not sew on it yet. Do not sew it. Do not turn it yet. Just sew on the sides and also the neckline. That is what we are turning for now. So after I was done, this is what we have. You can see I've gone ahead to sew the sides and also the neckline. Now after this, the next thing I'm going to do is to notch that neckline. Just look at what I'll be doing there. Just notch it like so. And after notching it, turn it to the other side. Then give it a good press after you're done turning it. Now after you are done ironing it, the next thing for us to do is to sew our front bodies to the back piece. I hope you understand. So on that shoulder line that I asked us not to join at first, that is where we'll be joining the front and the back piece together. So place your front piece on your back piece like so, right side facing each other, and then use one of that shoulder slope like that and flip it to the other side, just like what I'm doing, like so, and sew it down. I hope you understand. Place your front and your back piece right side facing each other, and then when you are done doing that, use one of the lining, flip it to the other side, and then use it to sew your shoulder. And you can see we have a neat finishing like so on that shoulder line. You can see it. So that's the essence of that. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is to take our measurement. The next thing we'll be doing is to take our measurement. So I'll go ahead and take my measurement. So go ahead and do your own as well. Take your measurement on the sides, which is your bust bust measurement and also your waist measurement. Then go ahead and join the sides together. Go ahead and join it. Go ahead and sew it like that. Then the next thing we'll be doing now is that we are going to be cutting the down part of our dress. To cut out the down part of this dress, you'll be needing at least 2 yards of fabric. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into 2 equal halves like so. Now after folding into 2, the next thing we're going to do is to take one of the sides and flip it to the other side and flip it to make a triangle. I hope you saw what I did right there. Flip it so that you can make a triangle. I will be turning it now so that we can see what I am talking about. Now you can see the triangle I am talking about. If you flip your fabric and it is not giving you this kind of triangle, you've not flipped it well. Now the next thing we're going to do is to calculate our waist radius. To calculate our waist radius, I'll be making use of my waist circumference plus 3 inches for allowance, which makes it 29 inches. Then I'm going to divide that 29 inches by 3.14, which is going to give me 9.23, approximately 9.25. Now that is the radius I will be using. And then the skirt length is 30 inches. So I'll be adding the 30 inches plus that 9.25, which is going to give me 39.25, and I'll approximate it to 40 inches. I hope you understand. So that is how to get the length of your skirt. Depending on the length of your skirt, calculate your waist radius, then add it to the skirt length. That is how to know the length of your fabric that you'll be using. Now after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark that 9.25 round like so. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Just from that point we make a triangle. Go ahead and mark your own waist radius. For me it is 9.25, so I marked it. Then after marking it, I'll go up by half of an inch, just so that when we are sewing it to our dress, the waist radius won't be too large for our dress. You understand? That is like adding half of an inch sewing allowance to it. Now from that waist radius, I'll be marking my skirt length from that waist radius, exact waist radius rather, not from the allowance. So not from the allowance. So from that waist radius, I'll be marking 30 inches, and I will add 1 inch for sewing allowance, like for hemming at the down part, for hemming the base. So that makes it 31 inches. If you notice, you will see that a part of the fabric is not enough to cover the 31 inches. If that is happening to you, do not bother. We'll find a way around it. Now let's continue marking the skirt length, which is 31 inches. Mark it round like so from that waist radius. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Go ahead and do yours. Now after we've made a point, the next thing we are going to do is to connect those dots together. Connect those dots together. And yes, if you've watched this extent and you are yet to subscribe, please kindly click on subscribe button, like, comment and share. Thank you. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is to cut out the excess part that we won't be needing now. So go ahead and cut that out on your own fabric as well. I will also go ahead and cut out the waist radius from the half of an inch allowance that we added. And now after I am done with that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to add fabric to that part that was not enough. Just look at what I will be doing. Place a fabric that is enough on that part. Then pin it to the down part like so. Just pin it. I hope you can see what I am doing. So what I'm doing right there is just to cut out, is to trim it out rather, is to trim that part out. So I went ahead and placed a fabric on that particular place, just so that we can cover for that part that was not enough. So get enough fabric to cover up for that place and place it like half of an inch above that part, above that line that was not enough, so that that will serve as a sewing allowance. I hope you get that. Place it like half of an inch or even 1 inch above, so that when you sew it, that side won't be too short. So place it upward, like half of an inch upward. I'm trying to emphasize so that you can get what I'm trying to say there. Then flip it to the other side. You can see that we still have excess clothes, excess fabric. So we are just going to trim that part out now. And after trimming that part out, we are done with the cutting of the down part. I hope you understand. So I will be placing it so that we can see what I'm talking about. You can see that it is now equal. It now rhymes with the other side of the circle dress. You can see. So I'm just going to place it right side facing the right side and sew it with half of an inch. And after we are done with that, the next thing we are going to be doing is to join the down part to the upper bodice. I hope you get it. So I've gone ahead to notch the center of my flare skirt and also notch the center of my upper bodice. So I'm just going to place it on each other, right side facing each other, and then I will go ahead and sew with half of an inch. And after I am done, I will bring it back to us. So you can see this is what we have. Now the next thing we'll be doing is to go to the hem of our dress so that we can sew our net on it. I'll be doing this with my free hand. I'll be making a spiral curve. Just look at what I'll be doing, like so. So from that side, from one side of your skirt, take a chalk and make a spiral curve all the way down. So I'm using 2 yards of net and I'll be showing it to us now. So at first I was thinking that maybe I should just use some measurements, but then I decided that let me use my free hand. So I used a free hand in making the spiral design so that we can have that design on our flare skirt. I hope you can see what I am doing there. Take it down, then to the top, and also down, then up, all the way down round the skirt. So I'll go ahead and do that. And while we are doing that, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm supposed to have shown you this part, but I think I skipped that. I went ahead to cut out my net, which was about like 10 inches long. So then I went ahead to gather the net. You can see I went ahead to gather it like so. So I went ahead to gather it, and then I will start sewing it on that spiral line that I made. I'm sorry, this part is not showing very well. I'm really sorry about this. I didn't know the camera didn't capture it really well, but I hope you understand it. So I will place the net on that line, on those lines that I drew, and I will gather it very well so that it can be a bit full. So I made use of 2 yards of the net, of the veil net. So go ahead and place yours on it. Then I'll go ahead, sew my zip on it, my sleeve, and also hem the down part of the dress. And after I was done, I'll bring it back to us. Now this is what we have. I hope you can see what I mean. So I sewed it inside like so, so that the we can have a neat finishing, so that the edges of the net is not showing. I hope you understand. So if you are trying to sew your own as well, you can use pin to pin it down on the fabric first before you go to your sewing machine and sew it. Then after I was done sewing, the next thing I'm going to be doing is I will be trimming out the excess net. Our net placement was up and down, it was spiral. So I'll be going ahead to trim it out. And if you want to trim it out, you can try as much as possible to trim it out, maybe on a mannequin or somebody, so that you can have a good finishing at the end, so that one side won't be longer than the other. And after I was done, this is what the final look looks like. Thank you for watching. Bye.